こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、リーズユナイテッドの田中碧に関する動画です。田中碧は、インターナショナルウィークでも躍動した後、チームに戻ってきて最初の試合となる FA カップ準々決勝のウエストハム戦で圧巻のプレーを見せ、その直後に、また移籍の話が出てきました。実質的には、スコットランド戦とウエストハム戦の2試合だけで、田中碧の評価が相当に上がったように感じますし、争奪戦の様相になっていきそうにさえ感じます。今回は、リーズファンのチャンネルであるThe Leeds View とKageyのチャンネルで、この噂の話についてリアクションをしている部分を切り取っています。実際にどのように話しているのかチェックしてみましょ
う。Another player that's in demand and is out, Tanaka. The situation around his future is going to be interesting this summer. Tanaka will be away at the Japanese national side at the World Cup, so his summer movement or summer interest could be short and sweet and could be quite dramatic, but there is said to be a lot of interest in him, and it's not just coming from Germany. Leeds last week made it known that they would prefer to hang on to Tanaka, and they do see him as part of the club's longer term plans, but he hasn't been getting the minutes that he wanted this year, and that's a common story now with a couple of players as we get closer to the summer window. But given his performance against West Ham United, that did back up a lot of claims that fans, myself included, have been making over the past couple of months. If Leeds want to be more progressive, if Leeds want to be a more attacking side, and now Tanaka needs to be getting a lot more minutes than he is, and given the games that are coming up, he needs to feature more in those matches. Sky Sports Germany today are reporting that there is interest in Tanaka, and it's not just coming from the reports last week linking German sides with him. They also claim that there's English interest in the Japanese international as well. Schalke 04 were the side that popped up last week that were said to be the front runners. They were the ones most likely to test Leeds United coming into this summer, putting in a bid and seeing what would happen at that point. They're pushing for Bundesliga promotion, and if they do get up, they see Tanaka as an ideal player to bring into their midfield. But Sky Sports also claim that several English Premier League clubs that are unnamed at this point also have interest in Tanaka, along with SC Freiburg, Hannover 96 and Union Berlin in the Bundesliga. So he is a player very much in demand at this point. Tanaka, from his part on this, and this is just rumour I suppose, but he is said to prefer to stay in the Premier League. So it will be interesting to see which Premier League sides are having a sniff around Tanaka and what Leeds can do to hang on to him. The report says that if Leeds did consider selling Tanaka, that they would be looking for a fee over £10 million, which would give them a huge amount of PSR, SCR profit on that. But they do also say that Leeds would rather keep hold of him at this point. Again, regardless of who is interested in him, it's going to be a very interesting summer. The minutes he gets between now and the end of the season are going to be a factor in this as well. If he's not playing football, if it's going to affect his international football, then he might want to look to move away from the club as well. But there's mixed reports on this. Some saying that Leeds will look to sell him. Others are saying that Leeds have no interest in selling him at all, given the performances that he did put in. And again, we talked about this a few weeks ago. He is the kind of player that does better the more minutes he gets. You look at him playing 2 games for the Japan national side, then he comes into the FA Cup team with Leeds, and he looks like a different player than he did in his last couple of appearances for Leeds United. So, yeah, for me, he's got a very important part to play between now and the end of the season. I would love him to stay longer term. I think he's a very tidy player. His ball retention is excellent. His tackling, his pressing is excellent. And his progressive passing is very, very strong. And he's got goals in him as well. So, you know, I wouldn't be in a rush to let these kind of players move away from the club. And they definitely should be getting a lot more minutes than they are. But you can let me know your thoughts on it down below.
Let's get into the transfer stuff, because how Tanaka's name is in the news, as it would be. A recent man of the match in the FA Cup, and rightly so. You know, I know that TNT, I mean, Ali McCoy was on, I think he was on Spicy in that match anyway. He had some candidates for the running for man of the match that really had no business being there. But how Tanaka, man of the match, is voted by the fans. His name has come up again. And Ekrem Connor has got a couple of links in this video here. But he has said that Freiburg are interested in Leeds United's Japanese midfielder, how Tanaka. Germany, other clubs in Germany, Hannover 96 and Union Berlin also monitoring, and there are also clubs in England showing interest, which was obvious. This is the thing for me here. Leeds asking for 15 to 20 million euros. Now, we don't know if this is true or not. This is just speculation. But there's no doubt in my mind that Tanaka is going to be a wanted man in the summer, especially if his league minutes do not pick up. And even if they do pick up, there's still going to be interest in him because he's a good player, a very good player, a difference maker that we've had the whole time and not utilized properly. But this is the thing I've been talking about in terms of the valuation. When we came into this season, 15 to 20 million was never the fee that I thought how Tanaka would be playing himself towards. I thought it would be in the 30s to 40s. And that was if he got consistent game time and if it went well. But he hasn't really had those opportunities to show that. And if he was to go for, say, 50 million euros, Leeds United have lost money. They would have made money because we only paid 3 million, but they would not have got the full potential what we could have got for how Tanaka. But me personally, I want to build around Tanaka. I want to see if we survive in the Premier League, Stack, Ampadu, and Tanaka come back next season, and I want to add to that. And someone that I mentioned in the summer, and I thought was a long shot because he's got big interest from Real Madrid, Man United, Liverpool, and he still does. But Angelo Stiller, I would love if Leeds United, let's just say, hey, what if we win that FA Cup and get into Europe, eh? But even if we don't win that FA Cup, it will be our second year in the Premier League. And if those top teams are still sleeping and you can bring in Angelo Stiller, move out Gruev, move on Longstaff, and get in an actual midfield baller in there. And then you've got 4 options there that you have a hard time choosing who's to select. That's the goal. That's the goal to have. You've got options in there where you go, who am I leaving out? Angelo Stiller will probably be available for around 60 to 65 million because I think Stuttgart are going to buy his release clause out for 2 million, which is currently at 40 million, which is an absolute bargain for this player. But that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I want to build with these kind of players, and how Tanaka is a part of that. And just seeing that report from Ekram Connor, and it's not even that it's true, it's the fact that it could even be a possibility is the sad thing. That 15 to 20 million for a player that's in the prime of his career, 27 years old, and he has so much more to offer, so much more. So hopefully, we're going to see that. We'll hear from Danny Farker tomorrow. I'm sure he'll get asked about how Tanaka, but hopefully now he is a mainstay in the starting 11 from now to the end of the season, because people can say he's under contract and Leeds United are in control. Football doesn't work like that, man, especially if you haven't been utilized the way that you feel you should. Your agent is going to say, look, you've hardly played him. You don't really have a leg to stand on here. He wants to seek new pastures. And who would blame him at this point in time? Now, if he plays a pivotal role in our survival leading up to the end of the season, that obviously gives us a stronger hold, and hopefully it will show that the manager and the management team have more faith in him. But no one could blame him if he was to leave. And that's the thing that really frustrates me, because we'll be looking for another midfielder like Tanaka in the summer while he goes away if he was to leave. And it just doesn't make any sense. So hopefully, we can bat away all of this, get him that he feel wanted at the football club, that he is wanted, and hopefully sign a new contract. These are the kind of players we need to build around, not keep the likes of the other ones that will no doubt stay beyond their welcome. Some would say some have already stayed beyond their welcome, but it is what it is on that one. But
次は解説です。今回は比喩的な表現やネイティブらしい表現などを解説していますので、本日の解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。What Leeds can do to hang on to him.
ハンゴンとは、しっかり掴んで離さないというイメージの表現です。そこから、物を持ち続ける、大事なものを失わないようにする、人を引き止めるという意味で使われます。サッカーでは、クラブが主力選手を残したい時によく使われます。また、試合の文脈では、リードを守るという意味でも使えます。日常会話でもよく使う便利な駆動詞です。イメージで覚えると、とてもわかりやすい表現です。
What Leeds can do to hang on to him. What Leeds can do to hang on to him.
And I thought was a long shot.
ロングショットは、もともと遠くから打つシュートや、遠くから狙う一発という意味です。そこから転じて、成功する可能性が低いことや、望み薄な挑戦という意味で使われます。日常会話では、かなり難しいけれど、ゼロではないというニュアンスがあります。サッカーの移籍話では、獲得の可能性が低い選手についてよく使われます。完全に不可能というよりは、ワンチャンあるけれど厳しいという感じです。会話でもニュースでも使える、とても便利な表現です。
And I thought was a long shot. But hopefully now he is a mainstay in the starting 11.
メインステイは、中心的存在や支えを意味する単語です。スポーツでは、チームの主力選手や欠かせない存在を表すときによく使われます。単に上手い選手というより、継続的にチームを支える存在というニュアンスがあります。ビジネスでは、会社や経済を支える重要な柱という意味でも使われます。 もともとは船のマストを支えるロープを指す言葉でしたが、そこから組織やチームを支える大切な存在という意味になりました。少しレベルの高い単語ですが、とても英語らしい表現です。
But hopefully now he is a mainstay in the starting 11. But hopefully now he is a mainstay in the starting 11. You don't really have a leg to stand on here.
ハバレギとスタンドンは、主張を支える根拠があるという意味のイディオムです。特によく使われるのは否定の形で、全く言い分がない、正当化できないという意味になります。議論や交渉、トラブルの場面でよく使われる表現です。直訳すると、立つための足があるですが、実際には、立場を支える土台があるか、つまり、何かを主張する根拠があるかという比喩です。かなり英語らしい表現で、ネイティブもよく使います。覚えておくと、議論系の英語がかなり理解しやすくなります。
You don't really have a leg to stand on here. You don't really have a leg to stand on here. He wants to seek new pastures.
pasture は、もともと牛や羊を放して草を食べさせる牧草地や放牧地という意味です。ただし英語では、そこから比喩的に、新しい環境や新天地という意味でも使われます。特に new pastures や greener pastures は、転職や移籍の文脈でよく出てきます。サッカーでは、選手が別のクラブへ移ることを柔らかく表現するときに使われます。直訳だけだとわかりにくいですが、比喩として覚えると理解しやすいです。少し上級ですが、とても英語らしい表現です。
He wants to seek new pastures. He wants to seek new pastures. Some would say some have already stayed beyond their welcome, but
stay beyond one's welcome や、より一般的な outstay one's welcome は、歓迎される期間を過ぎても居続けるという意味です。もともとは家や集まりで長居しすぎて迷惑になるイメージです。そこから人や選手、監督、政治家などがもう必要とされていないのにその場に残り続ける時にも使われます。単に長くいるという意味ではなく、もう歓迎されていないという否定的なニュアンスが入ります。かなり英語らしい言い回しで批判的な文脈でよく使われます。覚えておくとスポーツ英語やニュース英語の理解が深まります。
some would say some have already stayed beyond their welcome. Some would say some have already stayed beyond their welcome. But
いかがでしたか？田中碧は、個人的には、日本代表にいる時の方が、居心地も良さそうで、楽しそうに感じますが、日本代表から戻ってきて、最初の試合となったウエストハム戦では圧巻のプレーを見せ、どこかしら佐野海水や鎌田大地のプレーを持ち帰ってきたかのような気がするほど、相手の動きを読むような守備の仕方やインターセプト、前を向かせないような体の寄せ方、そこから足を出してボールザッチをするようなプレーに見えましたし、本当に素人が見る限りですが、少し食いつきすぎるような相手への寄せ方が、田中碧が少し危なく感じるところでしたが、それも以前より抑えられ、それが安定したディフェンスのようにも感じました。それが、少し鎌田大地や佐野海するらしいようなディフェンスにも見え、何かを習得して持って帰ってきたのかと感じました。素晴らしいゴールはもちろん、試合全体として評価が爆上がったようにも伺え、アントン・スタックが負傷したこともあり、今後の出場時間もそうですが、出れば出るほど評価も価値も上げていく田中碧をかなり期待して、楽しみにしたいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。